I want to talk about sort of the mechanics of getting a continuing resolution through the House in the event that the Senate originates. So in order to get a continuing resolution, which is an appropriations bill, through the Senate, they're going to need 60 votes. So it's going to be a bipartisan bill. And by and large, from all evidence, it's probably going to be significantly bipartisan. It's going to carry disaster aid and probably some emergency spending for Ukraine and maybe some other little goodies along the side. So it's probably going to pass with a big, huge bipartisan majority and come steaming over to the House. Now, one of the things, in the House, you got to pass a rule before you can get onto a bill. So the question becomes then, how does Speaker McCarthy pass a rule in the House that allows for debate and consideration of this big big bipartisan CR that came over from the Senate that's going to keep the government open? Because by and large, House rules are procedural votes, and so they tend to go along partisan lines. Would he have to rely on Democratic votes to get that rule passed and get on the bill? Or do you think at the last minute he'll have enough votes among his Republicans that he doesn't have to worry about getting the rule passed?
I just think there's Republicans who are going to vote no on anything. You could have, you could have a bill that deposes Biden and installs Donald Trump as president again. But if it doesn't hit their levels of appropriations, I just think they vote no matter what. So McCarthy's going to inevitably have to act with Democrats. And mechanically, if that's through passing a rule with Democratic votes, or if it involves putting the bill on the suspension calendar because he knows it has, I think it's 2/3 of support in the House, which it might, because there could be enough Democrats who want to get this thing done, then he'll find a way. And the only kind of X factor is whether or not that triggers this motion to vacate the chair and that he loses his job. But inevitably, he's going to have to do this with Democratic votes. That could come on September 30th, the day before a shutdown happens, or it could come on October 20th after, nearly a 3-week shutdown. And the reason that a lot of people are so pessimistic about there being a shutdown is because frequently the shutdown is necessary to prove the point that, guys, we lost. Like, hey, look, we fought a good fight and we dug ourselves in and we showed the American people we're fighting for them. But fundamentally, there just aren't the votes to pass what you all want to pass. And I know that today, and you know that today, and McCarthy knows that today, but he may need this lengthy shutdown period in order to prove that to the members. And once he's proven that point, that's when you see the Senate passed bill then pass the House, either with, probably overwhelming bipartisan majorities. So the question is kind of, like we said earlier, how much pain do you have to go through in order to get to that point? Because, whether it's a rule or not, like, he's going to have to do it with Democratic votes.